So, guys, one of the most common questions that I continually get asked when it comes to mentoring younger men is what to prioritize and how to prioritize. So, I'll explain it in depth so you can understand. But basically, from all of the discussions I'm having and people I'm speaking to and everything that I've been doing and my life, so I'm going to talk from my life experience and my dealings, people that I understand and I know when I speak to, men usually struggle with three different things in life, or we have three different responsibilities of men. And you got to remember the whole ideology that we start as nothing and we have to build ourselves up and we have to become the best version of ourselves. We're not born with anything. We have to grow. We have to, go through hardship and suffering. That's a given. That's a taken. So I'm speaking to you as if you understand that as a young man, you have zero value and you have to build and create that value in your life. That's number one. So I believe everyone should understand that before we go on to, how to prioritize what value to build. But I think if you understand that you have zero value and you have to create that value, again, I'm talking to the younger men. I'm talking to people between the ages of 14 and up, really, as you're going through life. I think there's three places or things that men need to focus on. And the three things are going to be your physical and your mental health. So that's going to be number one. You could put that down as physicality if you want, but a lot of that comes down to your mental health. Number two is going to be how to handle with relationships with your family, relationships with business partners, with your friends, and with obviously women. And then number three is going to be how to deal with business and money, so controlling money. They're the three problems that most men face, or balancing act that men have to face. They have to get in shape, they have to get a girlfriend or a wife, and they have to make money. They're the three most important things men have to deal with. There's other things as well, but they kind of all come under those three categories. And what I found, and I'm going to talk about fighting like I always do, in my fight career, the best fighters I know and the best moments of my career when I was in the best physical condition, the best shape, and I was winning, they were probably the worst moments of my life in other areas, like in my relationships or like in my finances, because you were so focused on that one thing. And as I've then gone through life and I've now transitioned into a different part of my life and I've focused on business and I've had children and I've grown out my family and all these sort of different responsibilities, I've realized it's very, very difficult to perform very well at all three of them. To have a great relationship with your family and your wife and your kids, and also push forward in business and do fantastic in business and become better, and then also have great physical condition and mental health. To have balance across the three is incredibly difficult. So you have to understand that it's much easier, or takes less energy. I don't know if it's easier is probably the wrong word. It takes less energy or less input to maintain something as it does to build something. So if you're looking at building, a great body or getting great physical condition or building a good mind, it's much harder to build it, to grow it, than it is to maintain it. If you're looking at building a fantastic relationship, it's much harder to build it, to meet someone new, to go through, the whole process than it is to maintain it. You still got to maintain it, you still got to put effort in, but the energy involved in creating something is less than maintaining it. Same with a business. If you create a business and you push and you do everything within that business and you get to the stage where you own that business, you run that business, and you employ people below you that do all the tasks and all the jobs and all the effort, and you oversee that business, it's going to be, easier in one regard. Obviously, you have the responsibility on your shoulders, but as men, we have to have all those responsibilities anyway. So I'm currently 35 years old. I've been through quite a lot in my life. I consider, gone from, being penniless, sleeping on the floor, to becoming a celebrity and fighting in the UFC, to coming out of the UFC and being a bit lost and going on to create wealth and money and also have a family and have kids, and all those sort of relationships had to been built as well at the same time. I've been in fantastic shape, 8% body fat, competed as a professional athlete, got out of shape, had to get back into shape. So I've had these struggles of balance in my life. And what I've found is that you can only really do well at 2 out of the 3 at any given time. So some might say you can only do very, very well at 1, and that if you focus 100% on that one thing, and that's probably right. But I think if you really try, you can manage 2 at once. It's very difficult to have good balance between all 3. So having said that, you have to maintain some type of the third one. You know, you can't just go all in on one and forget the other ones completely exist and give no energy to them and no thought to them and just focus down on one thing and try and become the best at that one thing. That's a bit autistic and a bit unrealistic, because you're going to suffer. Your overall happiness and your overall, life is going to suffer in that regard. So I think focusing on 2 out of the 3 is the best way to get the most well-rounded results. In times, you're going to have to focus 100% on one thing, but I would try and think of the 2 leading ones. And again, I'm trying to, this idea, I'm trying to speak to the younger guys. So I'm trying to, again, give my experience. This all comes from myself and my own life, and what I have learned and what I have done. So it's just an opinion. If you disagree, please let me know in the comments. But for me, as a young man, let's say you're 18 years old, because it's the easiest age to speak about. At 18, you should not be focusing or putting any real effort into women or into relationships. These are the times where you need to be building your physical body, your mind, and your business or your cash flow or your money. This should be 100% your focus. Obviously, you need to still interact with women, you still need to talk to women, you still need to interact with your family, you still need to be able to build relationships, but it should not be the top end of what your life is about right now. Right now at 18, 19, 20, I would say, to be honest, 18 to 25, women shouldn't even enter your brain. I think they're a distraction and they take you away from what you need to achieve. And what I used to say when I was young, and I obviously dealing with women and dating, I used to say, as long as they don't interrupt what I am doing, then they can come along for the ride. It's not like I'm not going to change who I am and what I'm doing and my mission and my goals to suit somebody else. That's 100% selfish, but I believe you need to be 100% selfish in that age when you're trying to become a man and trying to become the man that you want to be. And that might go longer than 25. I'm just saying 18 to 25 is kind of the area that I'm talking about. So if you imagine, if you get in incredible, Olympic athlete or top level athlete shape, physical shape, and you're also able to fight, and you also have spent time learning sales, marketing, business, and you've focused all your energy on that until the age of 25, you're now in incredible shape and you have cash flow, you have money coming in. Now trying to find and meet women is going to be a lot easier, because the thing about these 3 parts of your life, they all help each other and they all help balance you as an individual. They all work together. So the more money and income you have, the easier it is going to be able to find that partner that you're looking for. I think when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, that sort of age, maybe you meet a fantastic woman, but you might outgrow her by the time you're 25, 30, because men keep going. Men keep getting better. Men keep improving, or they should, if that's what you're trying to do with your life. And women don't. Women go the other way. So you've got to think, or most of them go the other way. What you've got to think is, if I'm focusing right now on pickup in the club or in a cafe or in Starbucks when I'm 22 years old, and I'm not focused on making money or being in shape, what is the outcome for me? What is the end result? What do I gain, from that? The ROI on spending your time and your energy on those things is so low. But if you're 25 in incredible shape and got great cash flow, you can then project that value and you can maintain that for the rest of your life. Most people struggle physically with their health because they focus 100% on money, or they focus 100% on women, and they don't get to focusing on their health until they're in their 30s, in their 40s, and it's too late, and they've already ruined their bodies from years and years and years of partying and all the other crap that they've been doing. If you make health your number one focus as a young man and get in shape, that health is then going to help the relationships, is going to help you gain, income and money and impression and impress people and everything else that you need. So again, as a young man, I feel like it's a super hyper important that you focus on your health, on your physicality, and on your mental health as well. And then from that, you focus on your business, on your money, whatever ideas they are going to be to make money. You have the time, you have the energy, and you don't worry about meeting women. Because if you're worrying about meeting women, it's subtracting your energy and your time from going out there and conquering and making money. And I think people speak about this quite a lot, but I think they make it a very, very general topic. And I think they talk about it as like a lifelong path, rather than, I believe life comes in phases. And as you go through different phases in life, you should have different, You should be focusing on different things. And the phase we're talking about right now is when you're becoming a man, when you're 18, 19, 20, and you're really trying to transform yourself into a man and gain value and gain people to look at you and people want to be like you and to inspire people. And those moments in time when you're at your peak, physical 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, when you can really become, professional athlete or do whatever you want to do, your focus should be 100% on becoming the best version of yourself physically and financially. They're the two things that for me are hyper important at that age. Now, a lot of people might say then, the people say this to me, like, I'm focused on money, I'm doing money, and they forget about women. And that's what I'm telling you to do. But you can't completely 100% forget they exist and not speak to a woman, because then in 10 years or in 5 years or in 6 years, you're going to struggle to have the confidence to talk to women and involve yourself with women and be around them and all that sort of stuff. So I believe it's like 80% should go to the top two, and you need to have like a 20-15% mark of your energy, of your time, to go towards dating and going out and having fun and doing whatever you're going to do between the ages of 18 and 25 with women and relationships in general. But that 80%, that bulk of your time, that bulk of your energy needs to be focused on getting in the best shape you can possibly be and to get your finance in order. Because then once you get to 25, you can maintain those two things, and then life will change, and then you can move on to the next stage. And I actually think at 25 to 35 is when you really, really need to double down on making money, because you should learn the skills that you need to utilize to then leverage those skills. We spoke about that before here, and leverage those skills to really make a lot of money. And then once you made a lot of money, then you can focus completely on family, on relationships, on building a family and everything else that you need to do. And the advantage that we have as men is we can wait. We've got no biological clock waiting on us. Obviously, you want to be young with your kids and all that sort of stuff, maybe. I hear that a lot as well. But now with, medical science and, sport and supplementation and everything that we've got now, and surgeries and everything going on, you're young for so much longer than you think you are. So I think that's less of a worry now. If you're 55 and got kids, you probably said you should be in its supreme shape, physical, and being able to, the old story of like, I don't want to be an old man when I've got young kids. I don't want my kids, when I'm 60, my kids aren't going to be able to do nothing to me. I'm going to be out, I'm going to be a specimen. So I think that now should be less of a worry than it was before. And people were rushing to have kids because the peer pressure was there. I think as a man, you need to try and build yourself up and solidify yourself. It's very, very difficult now in the world to provide. They're making it harder and harder and harder financially. So you need to make sure your finances are on point before you start, growing a family. So that's, for me, again, that stage comes later on in life. I think once you've had the foundation built of your physicality, the foundation built of your finance, then you can start doubling down on finance. You can go on the back burner of your physicality a little bit, and then you can start introducing relationships, and then you can, once your financial situation's in the right place, you can double down on relationships and family and all that sort of stuff, because that is the ultimate goal. Then when you get to your 50s, 60s, you should be surrounded by family that love you. You should be able to provide. You should be in a fantastic situation and position that you have to build the foundation for across the three. But it should start when you're young. And for me, what I believe you should start with those two foundational traits. Getting yourself in great physical and mental condition and shape, being able to deal with any physical situation. I think learning how to fight is extremely important. Whether that be boxing, whether that be jiu-jitsu, whether that be MMA, it doesn't really matter as long as you're testing yourself physically, because that helps so much with your mentality and the mental state as well. And then from that, transition into some sort of business and learning skills that are going to provide. Once you get good at those skills, you should be able to leverage those skills and make a lot of money, and then you can focus on the family and women later. So the main message is for the younger guys, even though hormonally you really want to go out there and you want to hunt and you want to find women, it's the lowest ROI you could think of. It's not going to help you long term. So you should really buckle down and focus on yourself and become the best version of yourself first. And then once you've got a few things down, you can start projecting out to the world and finding women that you want to be with. And I think if more men took that approach, maybe it sounds a little bit too analytical, but if they took that approach, I think people would have much better relationships, be much happier for much longer, rather than jumping in early at things they don't really understand and getting down the line and not being the happiest that they could be. again, all comes from my own personal experience, what I feel, what I see, the people that I'm speaking to, different ages, different situations. Financially, I know a lot of people that have made a lot of money young, but they're very unhappy because they didn't keep up with their health and all these other situations. So I feel like I have a good outlook on this, on the idea. And I feel like for me, I obviously concentrated 100% or 80% on fighting, nothing on money for a very, very, very long time. And I've had to struggle for a few years, the last 5-10 years financially, to try and build myself up to get to the situation where I feel okay. And I would not want that. If I could go back in time and I could look at setting up businesses earlier and working on money earlier and being more conscious of it earlier, I wish I had. So for me, it's not a regret, because I don't regret anything that's happened in my life. But looking back, I could have optimized my life better. And this is about optimizing the outcomes that we can create for ourselves. So I think it's an important lesson. I've been thinking about it last few weeks quite deeply and speaking to people about it. So I thought I'd share it with you guys. If you like the concept or you have anything you want to say about it, please write in the comments, let me know. Also, let me know any other content that you want to hear from me, any thoughts that you want, how you want me to improve things I'm communicating to you. And if there's anything that you want to know, please let me know and I will make you a video for sure. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you click the subscribe button and I will see you guys next week.